Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Parksy here, your coach of the R1R Malus, bringing back the Smash today here for DGBA Season 6, Week number 2, where your R1R Malus are going to be going against Gengar Raichu, coach of the Route 1. Raichu is a good friend of mine, and also the YouTube channel that will be linked down below, as well as the DGBA channel. You can go and check out the power rankings for the Week 1 that I did with Mike, the Week 2 power rankings that I'll most likely do, even though I have been on a trip, which I'll tell you guys about in just a second. But if you do enjoy this video at any given moment, please do like and subscribe, and notification bell on, and also comment down below if you think that there is any other Pokemon you think I should have brought to this battle, any tech you think I could have changed or whatnot. You don't have to post specific EVs, just the certain Pokemon, because there are a few controversies I can see with this team. But basically, I have been away down in Ireland for basically Monday to Thursday, Friday, Monday to Friday, and I've only actually gotten back to record this on Saturday, which should be the day that I'm uploading, which is also the day that I'm fighting non-zero, which is also the day that I'm prepping for my week 2 power rankings with Mike, which is it's pretty stressful, but I mean, I have got an entire day free. I'm not really doing anything today, so yeah, fingers crossed I can get all my work done today. But we are going against Giga Raichu, as I previously mentioned. His team is absolutely terrifying. It's like his team just destroys me. His team consists of a Zygarde, Arcanine, Araquanid, Electros, Cryogonal, Mega Mawile, Gliscor, Hoop Unbound, Espeon, Tangela, and Mienshai. Sorry if I was just skipping the music, I literally forgot his last Pokemon. But that team is absolutely terrifying, just because, like, my switch into Thousand Arrows is Septile. No other Pokemon on my team actually resists Thousand Arrows, so that's a bit of an issue. So Zygarde 100% is coming. Mega Mawile is 100% coming, because it can just destroy my team with its Dual Stab, Sword Stance, and then Sucker Punch. If it gets up to +2 with Sucker Punch, I can pretty much lose, which is kind of scary. Like, I have no switch into the Pokemon at +2. So that's also what's really scary. But yet again, it is Mega Mawile, so not really many people can actually switch into Mega Mawile. But then there's also Mienshai, which like is 95% coming versus me as a Choice Scarf user. I think that it has a very high possibility of coming, just because of how good is his Choice Scarf, and that can like speed Mega Lopunny. He's also got his Araquanid, which can set up the Sticky Webs, which are very annoying. Gliscor is an amazing Defogger, Rock Setter. And then he also has just annoying bulky Pokemon like Cryogonal on the special side, Arcanine, Hoop Unbound on the special side. So it is going to be really that much of a struggle. But I think I prepped a pretty good team for him. I have been spending a bit of time on this team, and I did a mock against Spoink, so shout out to Spoink, which I believe I faced later on in the season, but I did a mock with him, and I believe I won that mock 4-0 or 5-0, so that was really good, just in terms of letting me know this team's good and let me have momentum into this game. But the first Pokemon I'm bringing is a little bit of heat. Okay, we're saving the heat to the end, the full heat, but we're teasing you guys a little bit. So we've got a 3-attack Shuckleberry Will-O-Wisp Darmanitan with max speed and max attack, which can just break through his team. Really, he has no really good switch-ins to Darmanitan. I mean, he has some switch-ins like Arcanine with max HP gets Turku by Rock Slide, like almost every single time. It's like the rule is like 49.8% to like nearly 60. So yeah, it would be unlucky if I didn't get the rule versus him. But we've also got Flare Blitz and U-Turn, just pretty standard Darmanitan set. Then you've got Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is nice in case he does get Sticky Webs up and his Mega Mawile does outspeed my Darmanitan. If he's trying to speed creep the mid-Uranus, then I can just go for the Will-O-Wisp, and I can on his potential Sucker Punch, and I can just burn the Mega Mawile. And most importantly, it is very useful for that Zygarde, because I am trying to bluff this Darmanitan, and I am trying to make it seem like this Darmanitan is a Choice Scarf set, and if I do succeed and the Zygarde does come in, I can shoot you a 1,000 Arrows, I believe a Choice Band 1,000 Arrows from the Zygarde, and then I can get off the Will-O-Wisp, which is going to help out my team a lot. So this Pokemon is going to be really just my way of weakening down this team, and if I can get a little bit swap from the Zygarde, then that is the biggest threat, in my personal opinion, weakened and neutralized against my team. And next up is just a very nice bulky pivot. Also, it's a lot of these Pokemon it's going to be their debut. It's Darmanitan's debut, Umbreon's debut, Palosan's debut, and Sceptile's debut. So really just showing off the diversity of my team, and basically showing that I can bring an entirely different team than I did first week against Mike. Mike, I brought Landorus, Incarnate, Megalophony, Seismitoad, and what was it? Garbodor. Yeah, of course, the heat of the week. But next up, we got a pretty standard max HP, max defense Umbreon. This is going to be, if all else fails, my answer to Zygarde, because I can chew hits from +1 from Zygarde, so that's going to be very important. But this is going to be my Wish Passer, just because he has no Wish Passers on his team. His team doesn't have that much recovery. His offensive threats, like Mienshao, I know the Mienshao gets regenerated, but then it can't be the amazing wall breaker it is with the regular side jump kick. Hoop Unbound, Araquanid doesn't get recovery, although Mike would probably argue that Occurring is recovery, and Electros is also another Pokemon. But being able to weaken those pivots is going to be very nice, while also I want to keep the health of my Pokemon, because as I said previously, well, actually I didn't say this but entirely, but Darmanitan is my main response to Mega Mole. While I can take his Steel Stabs and Sucker Punch, doesn't affect me if I do switch in, and it won't affect me if I go for the Will-O-Wisp. So yeah, that's just a bit of information. And I do want to heal up that pivot in Darmanitan, just because it doesn't have any recovery, and it will be losing a lot of its health due to the fact that I'll just be spamming Flare Blitz a good bit versus Team Willies, hopefully. So we just got Wish Protect, Baton Pass, and Foul Play. Just pretty solid Pokemon, just defensive pivot that allows me to achieve quite a few hits. Versus this team, so nothing much to say really, just your standard Umbreon set. And next up is our Palossand with the pretty standard set, but we have got a little bit of heat, just a slight bit, okay, so a slight simmer. We've got a Shore Up, Stealth Rocks, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice allows me to 2 KO Max HP Gliscor, and offensive Zygarde, it actually is like perfectly, it like does 50.2% minimum to Zygarde. But we've got Shore Up and Stealth Rocks. I didn't really like Landorus, Incarnate, nor Seismitoad as my Stealth Rock user in this game. Plus also I needed to switch into Mienshao and Palossand and Umbreon to form a very nice defensive core for his physical spam, and also a special spam in Espeon and Hoop Unbound. Umbreon's like an amazing wall with Hoop Unbound. Trust me, I used Hoop Unbound in the TBF, and just bulky dark types were just its bane. But we've got Shore Up, Stealth Rocks, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Ice, as I previously mentioned. He has no switch into the Shadow Ball. Should have mentioned them in the week 1 power rankings, actually the week 0 power rankings. And yes, I guess technically the week 1 power rankings, but hey, I can always bring it up in the week 2 after we hopefully beat him. And next up is our Rotom. Obviously, if you're going to go against a team that has sticky webs and that very much annoys your team, then I do need to bring a Defogger. Rotom is very nice as a defensive pivot and allows me to get off Will-O-Wisps. It is my best response to the Araquanid. Well, not entirely. I guess there is Seismitoad that could be a response, but it just kind of... I don't know. Yes, again, I think Palossand did a better job with the bulky ground type and getting up Stealth Rocks. We've got Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, and Defog, pretty standard Rotom set. Honestly, if you guys are wondering why I'm not going over these EVs, it's because I made this set about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I very much cannot remember, but I believe it's so that it's either so. I believe it's so that I can live a hit from Mega Moa, like a play rough, and also so I can live a high jump kick from the Mienshao. The special defense investment is so that I can live a psychic from a Hoop Unbound. I definitely remember that. And his best response to Rotom is his Tangle. I mean, he also has Cryogonal, which is a fair pivot, but really just his 2 ground types don't really like switching in a Rotom. They don't like either getting burnt or taking a Hydro Pump to the face. Zygarde doesn't have recovery. Gliscor is weak to water. So yeah. And next up is going to be my Magearna, which is a pretty standard set. I know I said I would bring a Heat Magearna set. Today it's not the Heat. I'm very sorry, guys. I'm bringing Shuckleberry Magearna, but he has got a double ground core in Gliscor and Zygarde. So we do need the Shuckleberry, which allows us to take, again, a +1,000 hours from the Zygarde. It also allows us to take hits from the Gliscor, which can be very nice. The only way he's actually going to be able to Oko Magearna is if he is like a very offensive Arcanine. We've got Ice Beam, Flare Cannon, Flash Cannon, and Volt Switch. Pretty much the similar set to last week, except Ice Beam instead of Shadow Ball. Ice Beam, of course, allows us to Oko Zygarde and allows us to Oko the Gliscor with our special attack investment. So that's pretty much it, and then of course 24 speeds for speed creeping. But next up we have got Septal. Are you guys ready for this heat? Are you ready? I don't think you guys are. Here we go. There we go. As I get disconnected right at that very second, even Showdown couldn't handle it. We have got a workup 3 attacks, grinding DMZ Septile with enough speed to outspeed, I believe, the entirety of his team. We are outspeeding uh, Espion, I believe. I believe we're out. No, actually, no, we're outspeeding Cryogonal just because I don't think that Espion will be coming. I just want to clarify that his team is so good against mine, he can bring any 11 Pokemon, but I think that the Pokemon that's least likely to come is Espeon, just because Pokemon Bound, I think, is a better Psychic type in my opinion. We've got Work Up, Earthquake, Hidden Power Ice and Leaf Blade, a +1 Ground EMZ, Oko's Max HP Arcanine, and also Oko's Mega Mawile, a +1 Hidden Power Ice Kentuckio, Gliscor, and I think just Hidden Power Ice, assuming just Turkio is Zygarde, and then we've also got Leaf Blade that can Oko Cryogonal after Stealth Rocks, which is going to be super nice. But that is the team, and let's get right into the battle. Okay guys, so we are here with our battle against Gengar Raichu. He brought pretty much what I was expecting, maybe in the end show against Electros, but as I said, all 11 of those Pokemon were very viable against my team. Electros is probably going to be the only electric type ever brought against me, as long as I have 3 ground types on my team. But he did bring a pretty standard team. Of course, Arcanine is going to be his main response to Magearna, and Araquanid is going to be super annoying. But I'm just going to lead off with my Darmanitan, try and automatically, right off the gate, try and say, hey, I'm a Choice Scarf Darmanitan, because the fastest Pokemon he brought on his team is the Arcanine and slash the Zygarde, so I will be speed tying with them anyway. So if he is running any bulk, if he is running something like a Subcoil Zygarde with like insane bulk, or if he is running a bulky Arcanine, which I think he should be, then I can outspeed them and then try and reinforce the fact that I am Choice Scarf. So I'm just going to lead off with my Darmanitan. As you're going to see, he leads off with his Araquanid, instantly to get up the Sticky Webs, but this is fine because I forgot to mention, but you turn into Flare Blitz Oko's Araquanid, so I'm just going to go for my U-turn here, get off 30%, pretty standard damage. I'm just going to go out into my Pokemon that I know can take on the Araquanid, being my Root and Wash, and I'm instantly going to go ahead for Defocus, sets the Sticky Webs, as I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. Sticky Webs cannot be up, as again, I forgot to mention the team builder, but Septal is my main win con for this game. I just need to chip down his team, so here he is going to let me remove his webs just so that he can get a Toxic off, so that's completely fine. I am okay with that. I only need Root and Wash, like, even if it is just on a low amount of HP, just to come in and defog webs. That is literally its rule in this game. Of course, spreading a burn or two would be nice, but I highly doubt he's going to be switching in Mega Mawile into my Root and Wash. Maybe Zygarde, but I think I'm in range of 1000 hours, really, is very close to. So I'm just going to go Volt Switch here, expecting him to go Tanglers here, and I'm going to go Magearna, and I am just going to try and see, scout out the damage and see what he has in his Arcanine. Here I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, and I realize that this is a max HP, max BDF Arcanine, so he really hates Magearna with this Pokemon. So as long as this Arcanine is alive, I can't break it with Magearna, so I am going to go into my Palisand, take this opportunity to set up Stealth Rocks, because he did not bring Gliscor, which is his only Hazard. Actually, no, Gliscor or Cryogonal. So I'm going to set up my Stealth Rocks here and at least try and chip down his Pokemon that might be switching in. But he did make a very good play and went down to the Araquanid, so I'm going to be forced here to go for the defog, removing my own Stealth Rocks. So he is going to set up his Sticky Webs again, and the good thing about this, as I previously mentioned, is that the Araquanid is in range of Flare Blitz, so all I need to do is just get into Darmanitan, and I really should just be able to fire off a Flare Blitz. Rock Slide also can knock it out from this range. As here I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, because I didn't want him to feel like Zygarde was a free switch in versus Root and Wash. So even if I Will-O-Wisp into the Tangela, I was willing to take the risk, just because of the fact that it would keep Zygarde at bay and let him know that I am sort of expecting Zygarde every now and again, and I will try and catch it. So here I'm going to go out to the Septal, just try and scout out what moves this Tangela has. If it goes to the Leech Seed, then I can absorb that. If it goes for the Giga Drain, it's doing next to nothing. If it goes to the knockoff, which he does go for, that does literally 7 behind, I believe, a minus in attack nature, a burn, and me holding an item. So there we go. As here I'm going to go fire off an HP Ice in case he wanted to stay in, and maybe go for a Toxic. I did see Toxic Tangela with my game versus Spoink in my mock battles, so I just didn't want to take any risks. It was going to be definitely weakened for my Root and Wash in the late game. But here I'm just going to go into my Root and Wash. The Arcanine is out here. If he is going to Morning Sun, he'll show it now as he does. So here I just feel like it's very free just for me to go for the Defog once again and remove these webs. He can get a bit of chip off with Wild Charge or whatnot, but I am pretty confident just defogging his here. He is actually just going to be able to fire up Hidden Power Grass, chipping down my Root and Wash. But I'm still above. Excuse me. I'm still above 50%, so I am confident that this Pokemon can be a responsible pivot to the Araquanid still. So I am going to be chipped down by the poison, and I am just going to fire off a Volt Switch. He knows that his Arcanine can take a Hydro Pump, so he is going to just leave it in here. So I am going to go out into my Umbreon, I believe, because if he is just going to be a Max HP, Max Spadef Arcanine firing off Hidden Power Grasses, like, I'm going to capitalize off it. So I am going to go out to my Umbreon, fire off a Wish, potentially get my Root and Wash healed back up, and if I can get my Root and Wash healed back up, then essentially the 12 turns that we've already played is irrelevant for me. However, he does have that lasting damage off of the Araquanid, and I have scouted out quite a bit of a set. I know that the Arcanine is Max HP, Max Spadef. I know the Tangela is a more Spadef variant because of the Volt Switch damage on the Rotom, and I have got damage, as I previously mentioned, on the Araquanid. So he's going to go into his Morwell here, which is pretty fair. I'm going to go into Darmanitan. He's going to miss a File Play, but this isn't really going to matter in the large scheme of things, because I would have pretty much got all the health back from the Wish, and if not, I could have still just scared him out anyway. So he's going to go into Arcanine here. And here you're going to see that the hacks, as my voice cracks, the hacks pretty much even themselves out, as I missed the Rock Slide, which would have very easily 2-IQ'd this Arcanine and would have put me into a great position, because if I got this thing below 25% and got those Stealth Rocks, then that Arcanine would have not been a threat anymore, and I could have just won this game from Magearna. So I'm just going to go here and 1v1 this Araquanid. I know it is more of a defensive Araquanid, so I know that I can 1v1 it. As Leech Life is not recovering as much damage as I am dealing with the Foul Play, so I am confident with just sitting here with my Max HP, Max Defense Umbreon and just firing off Foul Plays, because Leech Life isn't doing more than 50% to me, and it is not healing himself up more than the Foul Play would be doing. So here he goes for the Toxic, and I am very happy with this, because Araquanid doesn't not have recovery, unlike my Umbreon, reliable recovery like my Umbreon. So I can just, like, this is helping me chip down the Araquanid, and once Araquanid is gone, I can pretty much sack off my Root and Wash, and I won't have to fear Sticky Webs anymore, which is step 1 for going for the Sceptile Sweep, as he is going to set up the Sticky Webs once more, which I did expect. He is going to be chipped down here a lot more, so he's going to be in Stealth Rock range, so it's kind of ringing in my head. Okay, set up Stealth Rocks, and then once he sacks up Araquanid, you can get in the Root and Wash against something like the Arcanine or the Tangela, and you can defog pretty much anything that isn't called Zygarde or Morwell on a switch. So I'm going to Baton Pass here, expecting me Morwell to come in. Even if he did attack me with the Araquanid, I could have got in my Root and Wash. But I was very confident he'd go out to Morwell and try and preserve Araquanid. So here he is just going to go here and sag off the Araquanid, which is great because I still have my Root and Wash in the back. It should be able to tank a hit. I can tank Hidden Power Grass from the Arcanine. It should be able to tank a Thunderbolt from the Electros. I'm not sure about a Giga Drain, but I do knock out the Araquanid, as here he is going to go into the Zygarde, and I bet he thinks, okay, this guy's locked into Choice Scarf. I can pretty much go into Zygarde here. Sticky Webs are up. I've won this game. And he would have if he was a substitute variant, but I'm pretty sure he would have been Outrage, Extreme Speed, and 1000 Arrows versus me. So I am going to get off my nice little Will-O-Wisp, no Lumberry for him, which means that this Zygarde is going to have to set up beyond +2 to actually start doing a good bit of damage here. I'm going to go out to my Umbreon, which is going to be, as I previously mentioned, in the team builder, my defensive pivot into the Zygarde, as 23 turns in and only one Pokemon's going down. That is probably a new record for me. So he's going to go set up a secondary Dragon Dance, so now he's neutral. That's completely fine because Burn does not take into effect Fire Play. So essentially I'm going to be doing the same Fire Play damage as if this Zygarde was just a +2, which is great because I take less damage and I deal more of it. So you're going to see I do over 70% of the Zygarde, and I'm just going to Wish Stall the Zygarde a little bit, just because if he does want to set up another Dragon Dance, I can just Wish and Protect, and this thing is in range of 2 more burns, so he's going to flap 1,000 arrows here again, so I'm just going to go and Wish. I'm going to go for the Protect here, as he is actually going to make a very interesting play and go out into the Mega While I felt like he should have just sacked off the Zygarde, just because a 5% Zygarde isn't really going to be that useful, even if it does have extreme speed, and even if he was saving it for the priority. I don't think that a burnt Zygarde's extreme speed would have been too helpful in the late game, but who knows, maybe he knows something that I don't. As I am going to go for the protect here, obviously feel, and I'm just gonna go sack off my Umbreon here, just because it felt that it wasn't really that useful. I had a Toxic on me, so it wasn't a timer, and oh no, okay, never mind. Forget that. As I switch out into my Darmanitan, I guess, as he is going to go for the knockoff, so that does a humongous amount of damage, but the fact still remains that this thing might just be very well before attacks, but I'm going to fire off my Will-O-Wisp. He makes a very good play and goes out into the Arcanine, but I'm going to go and preserve my Darmanitan here again, just because it allows me to have that final Flare Blitz nuke in the back, or the Rock Slide. So here I am going to go out into my Umbreon, and now here's what the turn has signal. So he is just going to go and simply fire up a Hidden Power Grass, expecting the Rotom Switch. That was a good play on his end. If I did go into the Rotom Wash, and I did debatably choke by going out into Rotom Wash, then I would have been knocked out by 2 of them, and I would not have been able to remove Sticky Webs, and Mega Mawile would have would have been a lot more scary. So here I'm just going to go fire off a Wish, and I felt like Mawile might have had Sword Stance in his last slot over Sucker Punch. I never actually think that he showed his 4th move. So he's just going to go for the Iron Head here, which I thought was interesting. If I Wish passed into Rotom, I would have actually been in a very good position. But here I'm just going to go right back out into my Rotomosh here. And I don't particularly care if he predicts me to go for the Defog here. I am just going to be able to... I don't know if I go for the Defog here, if I go for the Will-O-Wisp here. If I went for the Will-O-Wisp, it was a little bit of a choke. Yeah, it was a little bit of a choke. But I mean, I just wanted to make sure that he didn't feel safe around me. So I'm sorry guys, I haven't played this battle for about 2 weeks, so yeah, there goes my apologies. Actually no, maybe not 2 weeks, maybe like over a week. Okay, so I go for the Defog here against this Tangela. If he goes for the Gadrian, I should be able to live it, as here he is just going to go for the knockoff, which is great for me. I still have Death Fodder in the back, and I can get more momentum against this Tangela, even if he does decide to sack off the Zygarde. Toxic won't whittle me down, and he still has to find a response to my Rotom Wash. So here I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch again, as this is going to be an opportunity for me to go right back into my Sceptile and set up a workup, as he is going to fire off a Gadrian, which does 17. So this Tangela really cannot break Sceptile, which I'm very happy about. Sceptile's my boy. I said that people would underestimate it. Hopefully Gengar Raichu is realizing that, okay, my Tangela can't really do much to this Sceptile, so he's going to switch out into the Electros, and this thing is a giant nightmare. Just it's so annoying, just about how bulky it is, and the coverage it gets, as he decides to go and switch out into his Mega Mawile. I guess he figured that my Sceptile would be good setup fodder, so I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade here, and that is all the chip damage I need to get it into range of Groundinium Z. It was in range of Groundinium Z, but sorry, I meant it would have potentially been in range of Earthquake, but I believe that it was in my favor to get the Earthquake roll, but what was I going to say? It was in my favor to get the Earthquake roll, but it wasn't entirely like it wasn't 100% confirmed that Earthquake would have knocked out, so I just went for the confirmed kill and just went for the Groundinium Z. Unfortunately, I think he overprotected and went for the Play Rough, or maybe he didn't even have Sucker Punch, who knows. But I'm going to go into my Palossand here. His Araquanid is gone, so I can set up Sticky Webs, forcing him to make his Zygarde Death Fodder, and also putting it in range for my Sceptile, or whittling it down for my Magearna, whichever one that I choose. So I'm going to go set up my Stalfox here, and pretty much just sack off my Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash isn't useful anymore. Tangela is just such a great pivot into it. It's just such a great bulky little nuisance of a grass type. So I'm just going to go out into my Magearna here, trying to see what he wants to go for as he does go for the knockoff. So I believe that he's knocked off both my Shuckleberries, so he's looking at that, and he's like, okay, he came prepared for Zygarde. So I'm gonna fire off a Flare Cannon here, as he does show to be an Assault Vest. I didn't really expect much else. It was a pretty good secondary pivot to like Magearna and like Latias on my team. So I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch here, as he does show to be a physical Electros, which I thought was very interesting. Maybe to counter my Latias and get more knockoff damage, I don't really know. But here I am going to go sack off my Rotom Wash here to this Electros, the expected Giga Drain, but he is just going to go for the Fire Punch here, which is great for me because I get up Hydro Pump, and if I can connect this, then it should be pretty much in range of every single thing on my team. And if not, then I can always just come into Magearna and just Flare Cannon again. So Hydro Pump's going to come out. This thing is in death range of Stealth Rocks. I'm really surprised that it just didn't sack off Zygarde there, because Electros still could have came in against sort of like Palossand maybe and just got off and knock off. But I am just going to go out into my Darmanitan here and go for the U-turn. If he wanted to, I don't know, go out into Arcanine, that would have just got me momentum. I don't know, I just felt like getting a kill for Darmanitan would have been pretty nice. So I am going to be able to knock out the Electros here, as I am just going to go out into my Palossand here, forcing him to go out and Tangle. I felt that was the best choice, just because Tangela really cannot touch Sceptile. If he did want to double, he'll have to double on Stealth Rocks. So he's just going to go for this Tangela here, as he is going to take the burn chip damage. And yet again, I'm going to go out to the Sceptile, as he does predict this switch, which is a good play on his end, and he is going to go out into the Arcanine. But this Arcanine is in range for my Sceptile's Earthquake. It is a rule in my favor, not like about a 60% rule in my favor, I'd say, but the crit completely negates that, which is unfortunate. But as I said previously, it was a rule in my favor, and even if I didn't get the rule, and I still would have got over, it was still 50% or over, so he wouldn't have been able to Morning Sun stall me, and would have put him in range of my Darmanitan. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think it only saved him a little bit of differential, but yeah, I mean, again, it was a rule in my favor. I'm trying not to act like obviously it sucks for him that I got the crit, because that completely negates the chance of him being able to lower the differential, but it was a rule in my favor. I just want to clarify that, as you're going to see the Sceptile is going to get his third kill of the game by going for Hidden Power Ice. So there we go, Sceptile, you know, showing that it is a little bit of a slapped on Pokemon, and I hope that they can get a few more kills with this Pokemon. I told you guys that Sceptile is going to be an underestimated Pokemon. I was going to try and make it shine like I did with Rapidash, and I think this battle definitely showed that Sceptile has some merit as being a speedy grass type that it has a pretty wide move pool, albeit on the physical side a little bit more than the special side, which is a little bit unfortunate. But hey, for a tier 5 grass type, I'm pretty happy. So yeah. I was just thinking, because Spoink wants to trade me Rotom Wash for Tangrowth. So many people want to trade me stuff from my team, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just like trying to think of the trade in my head, but no, Sceptile, I'm pretty confident with being my grass type. But I thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe. My battle with Mike was last week. If you want to go check that out, it will be on my channel, so make sure you go check out. Just go click on videos and most recent. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you go check out Gengar Raichu. The next video will be out next week of me going against Non-Zero, and goodbye.